On the topic of the other wrestling we did not watch, there was a Money in the Bank pay-per-view event. I have not really followed any of this.
Well, I'll bring you up to date on it real quick here, and then we can get on to more fun stuff, because we did forget about it, but when I saw it on the Twitter machine, I said, well, what happened? So here's what happened if you missed the Money in the Bank pay-per-view like we did. And remember, the original plan for this fiasco was they were going to put this in a stadium, right? In Las Vegas. And then they moved from a stadium to, what is the arena called out? The indoor arena. I think they should have moved
Golden
down.
Nugget.
They maybe should have moved it to Laughlin, Nevada, and done it in one of the casinos there, or maybe put it in a fucking soup can. The 7-woman Money in the Bank match between Liv Morgan and Oscar and Alexa Bliss and Lacey Evans and Shotzi and Raquel Gonzalez Rodriguez Hernandez and Becky Lynch was won by Liv Morgan. More on this in a moment.
Okay.
For the United States title, see, every match on this pay-per-view was either for a championship of some kind or the Money in the Bank match to get a title shot. And, of course, because they have whatever this rule is, they have to have half and half. It was half women's matches and half men's matches. So for the United States title, Bobby Lashley beat formerly known as Austin Theory. And Lashley became the new champion. Remember, Austin Theory going to get the big push. He was a United States champion. What did that last? 3 weeks?
Yeah, 3, maybe a month, 3 weeks, somewhere in there.
Okay, more on this in a moment. For the Raw Women's Championship, Bianca beat Carmella.
All right, well, there's someone in that match who's talented.
For the, I guess it's the SmackDown Tag Team title, I believe it is, the Usos beat the Private Profits.
No, they're the Street Party. You're getting it all wrong.
The Street Party. I'm sorry, the Street Party. No, it's Party Profits. Or Private Street. Or Adrian Street. Whatever.
I wish these matches are private. How many matches have we seen them and the Usos have? I mean, we didn't even see this, and I'm sick of it.
See this. Then for the SmackDown Women's title, so both women's world titles were defended. Ronda Rousey beat Natalya.
That was probably pretty good, if I had to guess.
And then Liv Morgan cashed in her Money in the Bank briefcase and beat Ronda Rousey in like a minute.
Get out of here.
And won the title. And no.
In a minute?
I'd be glad to get out of here. Are you relieving me of my duties for the rest of this program? Can I leave now?
I already tried to abandon the show. You didn't let me. I'm not going to let you.
All right. Yeah, so Liv Morgan, the baby face that gets beat all the time anyway, wins the briefcase, and then after Ronda Rousey, who's fairly heelish, has had a long, grueling match against this other girl, then she cashes and beats Rousey apparently very quickly. And then Ronda Rousey apparently wasn't too concerned about it, treated her better than she treated that girl that beat her in the UFC, because then she apparently picked up the belt and handed it to Liv Morgan and hugged her, and they hugged. Everybody hugged. So
yeah, thank you. Now I can go home.
Yes,
thank you. Thank you so much.
I'm thinking somebody listened to our program here a week or two ago where we said Ronda Rousey looks like she'd rather be at the goddamn dentist's office getting a root canal. And so just suddenly, boom, and they hug, and like I said, now whither will become of poor Ronda?
And I guess Liv now goes to SmackDown?
I don't know.
And do you think Rhea Ripley's injury threw any of this off?
It better not have been that Rhea Ripley was going to win this thing and beat Ronda Rousey in a minute, and she couldn't because she fucking got a fucking concussion, or I'll give somebody else a concussion. I would have waited to do that rather. And here's the, I swear to God, like 10 or 12 people, and most of them were the ones that have their favorite girl wrestlers picture as their profile picture, 10 or 12 people on Twitter tweeted screenshots of Liv Morgan holding up the WWF women's whichever title belt and said, "Is she too girly for you now? Is she too girly to succeed now?" Yes. Just because the office said, "Hey, Vince wants you to win the title tonight," doesn't mean that hasn't changed or altered her appearance, performance, or perception in my mind. We may have found the only 10 people that still believe wrestling, and they believe the girls' matches instead of the guys. Imagine that.
Did we finish the results of this show?
Not yet.
Damn it.
The men's Money in the Bank match. Now, since they had the women open, they're going to have the men's 7-man Money in the Bank match. But no, because it wasn't good enough, Brian, when it was just Riddle versus Seth Franklin Rollins versus Drew McIntyre versus Sheamus versus Sami Zayn versus Mosh Pit Jones versus Almost. That wasn't good enough. So Adam Pearce comes out and apparently with no explanation whatsoever, otherwise than this is something I'm doing because it's been such a great night, he adds Austin Theory to the match and makes it an 8-man men's Money in the Bank match. And wouldn't you know who won the pony, Brian? Guess.
The man who lost the title earlier in the night? Austin Theory?
Won the pony.
Won the pony.
Won the pony. Theory is added to the match at the last minute for no reason, with no advertising whatsoever and no purpose, no reason, and somehow wins that match. So some way or another, they've gotten into a situation where they, instead of trying to continue pushing Austin Theory unobstructedly, like they have been trying to do. They put the U.S. title on him 3 or 4 weeks ago, whatever. Now they put themselves in some position where for something they want to do upcoming, Lashley needs to be the U.S. champion. And so, well, we'll put the U.S. title on Lashley. We'll have him beat Theory, but then it'll be okay because he'll come out and win this fucking stupid 8-man ladder match and get a title shot at a better title. And so he one-on-one, he gets beat by the guy that one of the only guys on the roster that the people kind of view as a real star these days. And then he goes in an 8-man clusterfuck, and the scrambled eggs, ends up with him winning, and they think that means more. So that was Money in a Bank. By the way, if I had any money in that bank, I'd think about drawing it out. I'm afraid there may be a run on that bank, and possibly investigations from the government, Securities Exchange Commission, something like that. Go ahead.